Jaws. It came out in 1975, was directed by Steven Spielberg, and stars the likes of Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw. So I'm doing a little Shark Week special. It's one of my favorite weeks each and every single year. I always look forward to it. And this year, thankfully, despite COVID-19, we still got it. COVID-19, you could take away all my movies, but you could not take away Shark Week. Shark Week also gives me an excuse to watch Jaws, a film that without a doubt contributed to my fear of sharks. And it's pretty weird because to this day, I'm still terrified of them. As a kid, I always watched this movie and thought, oh my God, if I go in the water, I could get eaten by a shark. But obviously, that's not the case. They usually just bite your leg and that's it. Most people don't die from shark attacks, but still it sucks because I live right on the beach near the Jersey Shore, and every time I go on the water, that paranoia is still right in the back of my head. I can never seem to get away from it. And I think Jaws has a lot to do with that. As the film begins, we have one of the best scenes and most memorable scenes in Hollywood history. We have this young girl going out for a late night swim only to get killed by this massive shark, and all we see is her getting thrashed back and forth, and all we hear are her screams, but we never see the shark. This opening scene is brilliant filmmaking because not only is this scene devastating, but it's also chilling because you never see that shark. And I'm sure back in 1975, some audience members weren't totally sold on the idea that this was a shark attack. Maybe they thought it was something else. Directly after the opening sequence, we get our introduction to the main character in the film, one of the best characters in cinema history. That is Chief Brody, played by Roy Scheider, who actually is a pretty awesome character in Jaws. He's somebody that you get behind right away because the government in this town, Amity, they don't want to believe him because all they care about is making money. They want to keep the beaches open, let people swim in the water. So Brody is a character that you can root for, as well as being a character that you look at as having no fear. He doesn't care that he has to go face to face with this monster shark Jaws. As long as he protects his town, Amity, that's all he cares about. We're also introduced to two other unique characters in the form of Quint and Hooper. Quint is this drunken sailor who you think is just crazy and nuts, but when you get to a scene that's near the end where he talks about the USS Indianapolis and you hear about how many of his fellow shipmen were eaten alive by sharks, then you start understanding where the guy is coming from, and he's no longer just this drunken sailor who's crazy. He's someone who's become so obsessed with killing this monster shark to the point where he doesn't want to see anyone else that he's close to getting killed by another one. Then you have Hooper, who is this smart shark expert who is probably the most relatable character in the entire film because he's the most grounded, he's the most realistic character, and the one that would be most similar to anybody in real life. In terms of the film's format, the first half of Jaws is them trying to figure out what exactly is happening to these people. Are they being attacked by a shark? Are they being run over by boats? What is going on in this town? Why are so many people dying in the water? Then the second half of Jaws is our trio of main protagonists trying to track down this man-eating machine, doing whatever they can to eliminate the threat once and for all. And quite frankly, this movie is so entertaining from beginning to end. The first half is a mystery full on. This town is trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And most of this town doesn't believe Brody. They still want to swim in the water, and like I said, the government is very corrupt. They want to make as much money as possible, even if that means some people are going to die. They want to keep those beaches open. And as we move into the second half of this film, it switches from being a horror mystery to this adventure action thriller of these guys going to town tracking down this shark. So of course the combination of Jaws' screenplay and Steven Spielberg's directing equal one of the best summer blockbusters ever put together on the big screen. This is that film you look back on and think, how could there ever be a better summer blockbuster than Jaws? There really isn't. As a whole, Jaws is immensely entertaining and pretty brutal for a PG rating. I bet if this film came out after the 1980s, it would have been given a PG-13 rating, but since it came out in 1975, there was no PG-13 rating just yet. So I bet back in 1975, parents were just shocked to see that they were watching a movie as brutal as Jaws in the theaters with their kids. Some of these deaths, man, God, they are a bloodbath. Sure, we get some pretty bad ones in the beginning, but near the end when Quentin is eaten alive and chopped in half by Jaws himself, geez, that still brings horror to my eyes watching it nowadays. To top it all off, Jaws' score. I think I should just leave it at that. Jaws is far and away one of the greatest films ever made. It is Steven Spielberg's first big film and is the film that invented the summer blockbuster. There is no doubt in my mind that Jaws is a classic. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is also the film that kickstarted my fear of sharks, so with no questions asked, Jaws gets a 100%. But of course, guys, I want to hear what you think about the movie Jaws down below in the comment section. Do you love it? Do you think it's the best summer blockbuster of all time? And as always, if you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.